This episode's all about engine bay and undercarriage, and the whole thing's turned into a bit of a monster because it's turned out way better than we planned, and you just keep at it. So a couple of weeks down, looking sensational in the satin, and the next stage now is to get into assembly. So you're going to see all the undercarriage, and then the one after, we start putting all these goodies on the car. So after way too many hours, I finally got all this engine bay filled. So it's all epoxied, and then normal body filler. Try and maintain as much steel as I can, obviously, but at the same token, being a fully handmade item, there's got to be a bit of filler in there as well. So like I say, too many hours, but it had to be done. And then underneath, I come around the other side here. So the plan is to bring that satin finish through to here, and then from here between the rails all the way back will be stone guard. So probably got a bit carried away and made it a bit better than it was meant to be, which is always the case, I guess. The process now will be to get a couple of coats of epoxy on that, and then the engine bay are going to use some 2K spray filler, and then up through the middle here will be the stone guard, and then I'll prime the lot and then finally get some colour on it. after way more hours than I care to count, I'm at a point now with this underside where I'm ready to put some primer on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like 3 coats of high build primer on the areas that won't be stone guarded, and then the ones that are stone guarded I'll get primed up as well at the same time, but probably just one good thin coat to seal everything up so that we can go, we'll use the wet on wet primer in the next run, and then we'll go colour and the clear. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I've probably done too good a job under here, better than it was meant to be, but that always seems to be the case. So I'm on the final leg. So this is Vibrance primer, just sprayed as a primer, and I'm on 220 just on the block. I didn't put a lot on it, you can see they've just gone through there, but the aim is now to flatten it right out, fix any little tiny bits and pieces, and there's a couple starting to show up with the black trace. But what I'm looking to do now is to get to a point where I can put my ground coat. So it's a wet on wet primer, and I'll put that in the details. So we're going to put that on, then our colour, then we'll go with the satin clear. So just got to hang in there now, a couple more days of rubbing, and I'm just about there. most people are going to find this really unusual, but I've got my mate Darren here. Darren's done a bit of work for me over the years, and he's a PDR.
PDR.
Right terminology. Been doing it for a long, long time, and he actually did some work on Rock 3 when we tidied that up.
Yep.
Which was my first time of actually seeing the hammer go on finished paint, basically.
Yep.
And the reason he's here is in the roof, I've just got this little imperfection I'm not happy about, and for those people who've been watching the show, when I was in the booth, you can see the fluoros change shape as I go across the roof. So I picked it up in primer when we're up there, couldn't seem to come to work out how to get rid of it. We blocked it. A couple of weeks after paint, it's still there, so I rang Zoran. He's come around with these hammers, as he tells me. So he's got the trusty hammers. So what we're going to do is we'll just talk through it a little bit, but this is one of those cases when you've got that last problem, don't bury your head in the sand, find the right people and fix the problem.
That's it.
I know. Righto, Zoran, so just give us a little quick guide on what you've got and how you're going to try and fix it, mate.
I've just got a slight low spot. I'm just going to try and just ease it up slowly because the car has been painted and it's got primer and all that sort of stuff. So it's just a matter of just taking my time and yeah, seeing how the metal goes.
Righto, let's do it.
It's actually working pretty good. It's actually coming up pretty nice.
It was pretty soft when I was rubbing it.
Yep. Yeah, that's looking pretty good.
Picture of concentration, mate. Mate,
Yeah,
that light's awesome. I noticed it even just shows up the orange peel, what's left in it.
Yep.
Obviously it was pretty flat, but we loaded it up so I can clear sand it. So
Yep.
I'm going to sand it with 800. But yeah, that light really shows it good.
It sure does.
So what have you done, are you?
No, I've probably got a few more hits to go.
Right. This is a bit like the guy with the diesel mechanic that comes in and fixes the diesel because he gives it one tap with a hammer and he charges 10 grand. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, mate.
It's all about knowing where to hit it.
Sure is.
So there you go, there's another example that we're not all perfect, but there's always a solution. So mate, give yourself a plug. So Zoran's dent removal.
Zoran's dent removal, yeah, 168 Shalab Road, Port Kembla. So if you ever need anything done, come down.
He's the man, and I've seen him take some, on his Facebook page, take some amazing stuff out that you wouldn't think, and no paint.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Getting close now, so I'm pulling all the doors off now so I can get inside painted black, and then the final thing will be to paint underneath. But I've just noticed here when I've gone to take this off, and Darren and I spoke about it the other day, you can see here where the hinge is hanging over the edge. So before these get painted, I'm going to just take the scallop off of there, and that'll just make it fit nice. I'm still happy it's big enough. And you might wonder why the hinges aren't even painted yet. I don't like to paint them until I'm putting them on for the last time. And it can be things like this, but also with the bolts on and off all the time, they tend to mark up pretty bad. So I like to leave it for the last thing, get them painted, and then assemble it, and hopefully not too many marks. quite sure how I feel at the moment. I'm about to do the colour on this. So I've sprayed the top with the blue, put the 3mm pin line in the silver, and now it'll go the grey. So now I'm just going to spray all the grey all the way through, and then I've got to unmask what I've got here and go with the clear. So my next stage now is clean, clean, clean. I was a little bit tardy when I did this ground coat and had a fair bit of stuff in it. So now I've cleaned all that up. So now I'm going to clean, wet down the floor and get into it. Well, here's a day I thought would never come, because it's been, I think, 3 weeks since we left PPG. So I've gone from steel, fillers, primers, base coats, pin lines, full clear, satin clear, and then I missed the video, but then full clear again on the blue on the top. So getting it out of here now, we'll get cleaned up and get it in the main shed and start doing some assembly.